Hi, hey, and all those other greetings, bed adventurers. I'm Jakks, welcoming you guys back to my gaming and unboxing channel, where today we're going to unbox some Jakks specific stuff. Personally, I think the company is pretty cool. It has some pros and some cons. A lot of the pros come from the fact that it has both a Mario and Sonic line, with the Mario line having quite a huge array of very unique and obscure characters in it. And already for Sonic, they're getting into that meat and potatoes, which I think is super, super cool. However, the con is the fact that for whatever reason, they just have phantom releases. I don't know if it's just all toy companies or what. I follow their Twitter and I still have no idea when this stuff releases. Has Wave 3 released? Has Wave 2 of the plush released yet? I don't know. I honest to God don't know. But if Wave 2 of the plush released already, oh God, that's gonna be really, really bad for me because it has some pretty obscure characters in there that I definitely want, or not very well merchandised ones. Today, what we are going to be looking at is basically what we did with episode 1, but flip it, Wave 2 stuff. And thinking about it, Wave 2 of the Jakks specific Sonic figures is kind of like the villains pack, the like evil pack. For the first wave, you had, well, we unboxed Sonic and Tails, which had Amy and Knuckles as like their battle sprites, which was pretty cool. And then there's also, Knuckles and a Shadow figure, which we don't have. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get them for a good price. Who knows? I honestly don't. Um, but today we have two more figures, which pretty much the villain side, I guess I should say, of Wave 2, which is making me more say it's the villains pack. Now, I've kind of been shuffling which one I want to start with, but there's something in one of the packs that I'm extremely hyped for. So we're going to save that one for last. And the first pack we are going to go with is Metal Sonic and Shadows Battle Sprite. So here is the back of the box, which is a little bit damaged. Good thing I opened these and I'm not like, these must be in prime mint condition, because if I was, this would be gut-wrenching right now. Like, you think it's just a little tiny thing, but if I left this in the package and I tried to sell this later, which, let's be honest, I'm not selling any of these. I'm a collector. I love them. But if I was trying to sell these later, this would be a huge detriment, which is just very, very unfortunate. And I mean, not as bad as the Pokemon Let's Go box that I got from GameStop. Sorry, I'm still a little bit sore about that, because if you guys haven't seen that video, like, look at that box damage. I was distraught, man. I still was gonna open it, but But anyway, let's stop talking about Let's Go, and let's go into the video if we can. Well, whereas Tails used super glue, Metal Sonic, he's like Sonic, but a little bit more edgy, dangerous, the paranoia of Eggman, but he has some flaws in him. So, I guess in a way, his box would be sturdy because he's strong. But at the same time, he has those flaws that Sonic can just pick apart. I guess he's really not adventurous unless you think about the Sonic OVA. But, it's whatever. Alright, so as before, we are going to look at the sprite first, but... Oh, God. His head just came off. Dude, when I said a few flaws, I didn't mean that. Come on, man. Can I ever open a Sonic figure without it just busting? Ugh. Dude, that better go back on, because if that does not, I'm gonna be upset. Oh, thank God. Okay, we're good. Metal Sonic is not decapitated anymore. Anyway, though, Let's get this show on the road with Shadow. If he lets me. Which one's supposed to go down where? Why is it not? Oh, there we go. That's the body. But he has another. What's the other thing? Was hedges? Honestly, it looked better without the hedges. But alright. As previously stated, however, these are the idle animations. At least the ones that I have seen, they are the idle animations from the Sonic Battle, the game Sonic Battle. I don't know if they've done any other ones that aren't the idle animations, but so far it's been pretty consistent with that from the ones I've seen. So here is Shadow's battle animation from that game. Pretty much he just kind of stood there, one arm going like this, other arm like that, and he kind of just like waited up and down with his arms. He had some pretty cool attacks in Sonic Battle though. He had a lot of chaos powers that we've never seen before, like these two glowy purple things. He had a lot of kicks. I don't think he really had any spin dashes or anything like that, but it was mostly kicks and chaos power type things. Weirdly enough, in that game, he was canonically faster than Sonic by just a pinch. I thought that was kind of weird considering they're supposed to be the same speed, as well as the only reason he has the speed is the rocket propelled shoes on him. Um, but it's very possible that they may have been like, oh, because of that and the Chaos Emeralds, that's why he's doing it. Honestly, though, I still think that Amy's was the best so far. You know, she had really good coloring. Her sprite just worked very well for it. This one's pretty good. Honestly, I feel like they probably could have just gone without the hedges being there, and it would have been fine. It would have looked a lot better. With the hedges there, it's kind of meh. I can display them without the hedges, but this is what is technically it's supposed to be. So that's what I'm probably going to do. Looking at this as well, I didn't realize how pixelated Shadow's sprite was. But of course, he has so much detail, and he was never really meant to be in sprite form. So it's also really cool that we're seeing him like this, because when you actually think about it, all right. So you had Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which had Shadow in it, and then you also had Sonic Heroes. So Shadow came back during Heroes, and then I guess they had Sonic Battle after that, and I believe that was the first and only time Shadow's ever been represented as a sprite, which is pretty cool. You might be like, what about the Tokyo Olympics? For some reason, instead of making a gigantic roster of all the characters, making new like concept sprites, you know, being able to see certain characters that have never been in sprite form, whereas a lot of the characters from Sonic have been, including Blaze the Cat. For Mario ones that we wouldn't have seen, for some reason they never did that. The roster consisted of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik on Sonic's side. For Mario's side, it was Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Bowser, and that was it. No Yoshi, none of the others. It would have been super cool. They also had Toad in the background for like audience and stuff, but it was kind of disappointing. It was cool, but I would have liked to see more characters in there. But anyway, though, this video is not about Tokyo Olympics. But we get to go on to the main event. Thankfully, again, Metal Sonic has his head on. Because the one thing about Metal Sonic is that he doesn't have a lot of merchandise. More so Modern Sonic does, but his merchandise is little. But the second figure that we will see has a lot less merchandise. Classic Metal Sonic and Modern Metal Sonic pretty much look the same, just a few differences in light blue and this kind of blue, like the Sonic blue, kind of like Modern and Classic Sonic. But I know for figures, there's the Jazzwares figures. There's a few plush, like there's the GE plush, there's the Jazzwares plush. Tomy has a figure, I think. I don't know. Do I have a Tomy Metal Sonic figure? Oh yeah, there was that Loot Crate figure that they had too. Uh yeah, for the most part, that was pretty much it for Metal Sonic. And then of course you have the Jack specific one, which is now bendable. So his original pose, interesting. It kind of looks like he's asking to go to the bathroom in grade school. So I don't know why they went with this pose. It's not menacing. It's not, you know, or maybe he just wants to ask to go to the bathroom to beat up his arch rival. You know, Sonic might be cool now, but in grade school, he got bullied a lot. No, that would be Tails though. It's unfortunate, but bring back Adventure Tales, please. Again, another tangent. Sorry, this is just the day of tangents. But going back to the figure, thankfully, it. What? The arms are connected. Dude, this is a bendable figure. It's supposed to be bendable. Like, you can do that, and that's fine. Like, I mean, it's Metal Sonic. It's not grotesque. But, like, the fact that you move one arm and it just casually moves the other. Like, he's demanding a drink. And he's waving the bartender down. He's like, I need another drink of oil. Give me another drink of oil. I need it. So that's pretty weird. Um, Looking at the rest of him, has his nose always been silver? Probably. Um, but as I've said for the other figures, it's pretty much carbon copy. The problem with this, however, is that there's a lot more problems that I'm seeing in this figure than the others. A big contribution of that, though, and probably why there's not a lot of these figures, is because you do have these shoulder pads, which are generally like more jutted out, as well as these little arm pieces, which are usually thinner. That does make it a little hard to do things, and this is probably just one piece with a bar in the middle of the chest, I'm guessing. His center definitely is not something that could be bendable because you have that rocket piece, but they do have all of the texture and detail on the back as well, which looks very good. The center is painted well as well. You also have the ridges. You can't really see them, but in the black, you do have the red eyes. It is hard to see on camera just because of how the colors work on my camera, but they are there, and in lighting, it does look pretty decent. Interestingly enough, they actually put the details in the soles of his shoes, and I didn't even know he had those little ridges or those circles. I knew that he had this kind of a foot, just because that's how Metal Sonic's foot is. But those ridges, that's definitely new to me. Of course, though, I would be very careful when bending something like this, because even though I didn't mention in the last episode, bendable figures, they can break pretty easy. Very easy. As you may have seen from me opening it, thankfully that was just a neck joint, and he is fine. He's okay. Yeah, we can make him nod up and down. Wow, demanding for his drink. Um, the one big flaw I am noticing though is in the legs. Now I don't know if it's because his legs are so narrow, but this leg is actually curved right here to start going this way. I don't know if you can see it that much on camera, but it's bent really weird, and I don't know if it's because of the shoes or because of how thin his legs are, but it looks really, really weird and really off, and I really don't like it. Again, though, it's probably because these joints are supposed to be thinner, and they probably just did that to make sure that it's not, super breakable. Now, the last detail I do want to mention is something that you guys wouldn't be able to really see on the figure itself. But back here, there's actually the ridges that are on his little back spike, which I think that's pretty cool. So the last thing I do want to mention about this, other than the fact, you do have the bolts, pretty cool. Everything looks mostly how it should be. It's not as good as the Sonic and Tails figures, but it's pretty close, and considering there's not a lot of metal Sonic figures, you can't be too picky. Yeah, sorry guys, I completely forgot my last point, but this is a pretty good figure, and hopefully you guys do enjoy it. So that's going to be it for Metal Sonic, but of course we do have one more figure, and cool, he does stand. The next one might not, because it just doesn't. That figure is the 300 IQ'd Dr. Eggman. You know how I was saying there's not a lot of merchandise of this character? Well, you might be like, whoa, Spins, there's a ton of merchandise of Dr. Eggman. You're not wrong, but you're also not right. Now you might be thinking, Spins, you're contradicting yourself and you sound ridiculous right now. But the reason why you're not right is because if you look up here, yes, his name is, well, that's the first Robotnik plush, but his name from Generations is now Dr. Eggman. I still call him Robotnik because, like, there should be a difference. But this right here, you can count at least 3 plush of Robotnik, and over there, you guys can't see it, but on my figure stand, there's a lot of Robotnik figures. However, for Dr. Eggman himself, there is only one modern plush that I know of, and that is Toy Network. For some reason, GE never made a modern Eggman plush. Tomy never made a modern Eggman plush. And Jakks Pacific has not made a modern Eggman plush. Figure-wise, there was a Jazzwares figure, but I mean there was a Jazzwares figure of Froggy. So if there was a Jazzware figure of Froggy, but not Eggman, that would be kind of concerning. At the same time, there was no Rouge, but there was also plans to be Rouge, and she got canceled. Which is unfortunate. Thankfully, Blaze did not, and I do have that figure. It's not that great, because it was at the end of the really bad quality for Jazzware, but still pretty cool that that's there. Other than that, though, for Eggman figures, there's only one other one that I can think of, and that is the Toy Island one. The same line which had the characters in space uniforms. Not the Tomy one, but the, I'm sure if you look it up, you'll find it. And you might be like, well, Tomy had modern Eggman figures. They had Boom Eggman figures. Did they have an Eggman? Like a regular modern Eggman? I sincerely don't think so. They had Zavok. I don't know what it is. Like, they just don't like modern Eggman. And it's weird. It would also be great if we got like a figure of modern Eggman in like his mech suit from Sonic 2, or Tails in that suit. But anyway, though, sorry that I kind of rambled on there for a little bit. I just think it's strange. Like, why would you have it to where, all right, there we go. But why would you have it to where you have like a figure like Zavok, but then you're like, modern Eggman, we don't need him. Like, that's weird. It's very weird. Alrighty, though. Here we go. So we have the Battle Sprite, and we have Eggman. Now, I know there's probably a decent amount of people that have been saying, well, you've been calling this like the battle part of the wave. You have Metal Sonic. Okay, I get that. Shadow, he's not a villain anymore. He did start off as a villain. I'm calling this the adventure era. Why? Well, because Metal Sonic, interestingly enough, he was the like 100% reward for beating Sonic Adventure, to where you could play him in any Sonic stage, which is awesome. Like if they could do that for like, if they remake it, if they could do that for like Metal Knuckles, Tails doll, make a Metal Amy, like please, like what would they do for Gamma? They can't make a Metal Gamma, just make a have Metal Big the Cat, but for Gamma, just make like an animal version. You play as the bird inside. But anyway, the reason why I consider it that we have the first ever official merchandise for Gamma. That's right. Before Omega. And I guess you could argue the Sonic Battle Racers game, it does have Omega in it. So technically there was a figure before Gamma, just in a board game, essentially. Oh, dude, I know you have another part because I can see it, but it's not coming out. And that makes me nervous because I don't want to break it. There we go. Thank you, Gamma. All right, so this, normally, it's been, as I've said, the idle animation, but interestingly enough, for Gamma, it is not. How do you put this on? Which, again, normally would be easy, but for Gamma, it's really not. Like, it doesn't fit that well into the stand. But for Gamma, it's actually his hover animation. To be fair, though, Gamma did have a very standard animation for his battle sprite. So this is probably the best way to put it, as, you get the jet booster on there and you have a reason for it being there. It also is not going to be a very breakable part because you do have the flames and the little background for him. I think this is really awesome. Now, do I think we're going to get a full-fledged Gamma figure? No. But the fact that they actually went out of their way to do this and make an official Gamma product is insane and really cool, and I'm just... Like, this is what I've been waiting for. Not for years, but, like, for this unboxing. And there was no way I thought this would ever happen in my entire life. Like, we don't even have any, like, Omega plush, any Omega figures, which still baffles me because he's a big part of the main Sonic continuity. But now, we finally have something for Gamma. So what also makes me very excited about the fact that we have Gamma is because this means that we could get battle sprites of Chaos. We could get battle sprites of, well, I'd say to Call, but she's not in battle. We could get them of Cream. A lot of different characters from Sonic Battle. Emerald. Here's the problem, though. Wave 3 has the Sonic characters in sports uniforms. What they have with them are sports balls. Alright, those are variants, okay? What about the other ones? They have an invincibility box, a spring, and a set of spikes. The other one's probably a 10-ring box. This is a bit weird to me. It's cool, but it's very weird because, like, whenever we had those set pieces, like, because Jazzwares did this in the late game, we had the flower with Charmy, we had the Shuriken with Espio, we had the walkie-talkie with Vector, Knuckles had the Master Emerald, Tails had his communicator, Shadow had Black Doom. Like, I need that figure. Why don't I have the figure pack with Shadow and Black Doom? That just sounds awesome. Amy had her Pico Pico hammer. Why was I never buying that line? Because I had no money. and they were hard to find, like, anywhere. Like, seriously, the hardest thing to find. Um, and then, of course, they do actually have something that I'm pretty excited for Wave 3, which includes Chow figure. And while I like the Tomy Chow figure because it's Chow, they're figures, they actually have a freaking paint job with the yellows, with the pinks. They didn't just make them solid blue. Like, it's just very exciting for me. Yeah. But there's a lot for Wave 3, and I'm definitely hoping that I can get the Wave 2 plush. But anyway, though, here is Eggman. Now, despite me having an issue with Metal Sonic in a few ways, why is his leg also bent like Metal Sonic's? There's no excuse for that. Well, it's a bendable figure at least, so it's fixable. So here we have Eggman. Interestingly enough, the first thing that I'm noticing is it looks like the two arms being connected is exclusive to Metal Sonic, as we can bend his arms. They are still stiff as heck, but they are both posed downwards. I guess this is just the best thing for the figure, with one hand pointing and one hand with a fist. Honestly, this is probably the best pose for a figure like this, as you can actually do a lot with it. You know, it is not as collector's item as the other figures, which you can't do as much with. You know, if your kid gets a hold of it, you don't really have to worry. Actually, you do, because mustache is paper thin. It's probably bendable, but yeah, I wouldn't trust that. Kind of looks like lettuce. Yeah, yeah, it does kind of look like lettuce, but like as a mustache. Looking at the figure himself, he does look extremely good. The first thing that I want to notice, because it's just insane that they added this, like, how, what, why? They actually added the wrinkles in his jacket for his arms where his elbows would be. Like, what? That's insane. Really, really cool touch. They they have every single detail here, including his goggles, which look really good, as well as the green lenses. One thing that a lot of figures like this miss are those very small details, which would include things like those green goggles. And when they have them, it's sometimes really, really, really bad. I cannot, like, why was there a beep outside? Really, dude? I'm recording. Like, go away. Um, but I cannot stress enough how many times there will be something of a figure of Eggman, which is few and far between, where they have, like, if they have something like that, it's just so messed up. Another thing I'm noticing as well is that they actually have ears on him. I know, this seems ridiculous that I'm going crazy over this, but, like, the fact they put ears on him, I swear, half the time, he doesn't have ears. Probably because Robotnik. Does Robotnik have ears? I'll put it in editing. He probably does. All right, but going back to the figure, which again 3D printed. That's all I gotta say. Um, More insane details that they added. They actually added these little bumps to his gloves, which are these tiny little circles, which I've never even noticed. I've known this series and this character for such a long time. I didn't know he had these tiny little oval bumps on his gloves. That's insane, dude. How did I never notice that? They have his nose perfect, where it's actually a gradient pink and it's not going over to the rest of his skin. They actually ended it sooner so that it wouldn't overlap. And somehow they have the bridge of his glasses over his nose and on his lenses, which also have glare. Again, I say, like, how? How in the world? this is such a good figure. You've got all the bumping right. You've got all the details right. The buttons are there. They're 3D. The lines are there. They're also 3D. You've got the little Mickey Mouse buttons. Everything. His coattails. His tiny little, like, wristband thing. These tiny little things on the soles of his shoes, which mean nothing, which also have a line in it. Like, God. This figure is literally, if Eggman made a deal with the devil and said, paint me like one of your French girls, and the devil said, will do, girlfriend, and then he made not just a painting, but a 3D render of him and said, how your French girls looking? Like, I mean, come on, dude. This looks amazing. It's insane. It's so insane, I just pulled out a random French girl meme. So I don't know how more amazing this could get. But wow, these figures, thank you, Jakks Pacific. You have been putting out grade A quality that I have been missing. I know I mentioned in the Sonic and Tails episode and compared them to those Tomy figures, but the fact you have this modern Eggman, yes, it's bendable. Yes, there's a lot more you can do with that, but the fact of the matter is, they're also putting posable figures with actual joints in the next wave. And they look the same. They look just as amazing. They look like Jakks Pacific, and hopefully more durable than Jakks Pacific. But I thought after GE there would never be a Sonic merchandising company that I would praise as much as I did for that. You guys know every single video, almost every, there's literally 2 or 3 videos that I've criticized them. And that's it. No other criticisms for GE because they put out such great products. They had pride in their quality. They had that stamp of approval to where they go out of stock on Amazon. If you get the luck of finding one, you bet it's going to be a high amount because it's just that good. And while Jakks Pacific, yes, it was good, it had a lot of quality issues. And while I'm not the biggest fan of the plush, I think they're still cool. I did do a video on those when those released for Wave 1. They are still very good plush, really great quality, and they have a very good style of their own. But Jakks also really, really specializes in figurines. This is their mojo, and you can see why Sega trusted them with their license. Anyway, though, guys, let me know what you guys think of all of these figures, from Eggman to Gamma to, well, I should hold up Eggman and Metal Sonic together. Sorry, dude, had to get a thumbnail. But, yeah, let me know what you think of Eggman, Metal Sonic, the Gamma Sprite. How is this a thing? How did they get the license for this? They just strolled into Sega's office and were like, yo, we need a character for a battle sprite for Eggman. Can't be Eggman. Can we use Gamma? And Sega's like, oh, heck yeah. Like, why not? Like, that's insane to me. The fact they're even referencing Sonic Battle is insane. And the Shadow Battle sprite as well. Yeah. If you guys enjoyed, definitely make sure to hit that like button. Share this out with everybody you know and love. Brother, mother, sister, father, iguana. And I'm curious, what is your guys' favorite Sonic merchandising company for figures and for plush? So far, it's looking like plush, you obviously know it's GE. But for figures, Jakks Pacific, you're getting on the rise. If only I could find them. for a decent retail price. That's my only gripe. Is that I bought these when there was like one in stock. So I bought one on Amazon for $20, and then the next day, because they were out of stock, they restocked and went back to retail price. It's the only thing. Like, for such a perfect thing, how do you make it so hard to find? I don't know when any of this stuff is releasing. Anyway, though, whatever. Rambling, rant, whatever. It's done with. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Usually I've been doing music stuff for this, but I can't think of a song. So, I am the greatest. That sounded like Wario. Dude, that's actually pretty good. Let me just zoom this in closer. Oh god, arm, don't shake. Gotta get a clear image. It's when you don't want your arms to shake that they decide that they want to shake forever. They will never stop shaking. They will be the shakiest and the worst with that. And it sucks. Alright, guys. Bye.